Welcome to Conversations with Cheryl Weston. And if any of you were on Facebook earlier today, I promised that I was going to come back with my comments regarding stupidity because I put out a question. Um, what do you get when you try to have a conversation with stupidity? And I know people say, well, you can't have a conversation with stupidity. You can have a conversation with people who are stupid. And I put it out that I would be coming back today with this evening with a little bit more. And so that's what we're doing. And yes, I noticed that our screen is not quite clear as it usually is, but that's due to some part that the computer fix-it folks said they needed to order in order to put it in for the camera part. So, but the show must go on. That's the way I'm looking at it. So we're going to do the best we can with what we got. And it's more important to get the information out than it is on maybe the clarity. Can you forgive me this time? So with that, as I said, my question was, what do you get when you try to have a conversation with stupid people? Um, and it's very difficult. Um, Particularly when stupid people don't realize how stupid they are, or and I know that's not a nice thing to say, but hey, sometimes you just got to call it what it is. And that's what I feel like sometimes in this society that we are in, it's people just um have become so that they all want to be the center of attention and they should be in the background. They all like to be able to shine. They want to be in crowds. That's what people with stupidity do. And because of social media, they love social media. Because one of the things, they can hide behind social media. They can be all these fake names and little who soca polka and all this other kind of crazy stuff. And so it gives them a way to be what they consider important and knowledgeable, and instead it just shows up how much more stupid they are. One of the things that you know, how should I say? Because I don't want to be really as rude and crude as some folks are. Um, but when you're engaging in a conversation with someone who's not receptive to reason or evidence. And that's where we are now with the MAGA, the GOP, whatever you want to call it, the Trump cult, whatever it is. We are in a society now that um, they don't want to be confronted with the facts. They want to be told to make them feel like they are part of something that's way above their level. And then you have those who are, we are in this society, and you have to call it what it is. We're in this society that the leader, um, who has a major problem, very sadistic psychopath, and very outspoken white supremacist, a cruel, a monster. And there's some other things I could say, but I won't. Um, excuse me. But his made it so that people don't have to hide anymore. They can come out and be what they are. And then they don't realize what they are probably isn't what they really um, understand to be as someone with some intelligence. Excuse me, I don't know. Something must have went down the other way. I know there's probably some out there saying, I wish she'd choke on it, but I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, you know, people nowadays, they just open up their mouth and let things come out. Some of it that comes out is what they actually are, who they actually are, what they believe. That comes out of some because they're at that stupidity level. And then there's others, and I think that's what kind of bothers me the most is those who know better, should know better, and have the intelligence to know better. Um, but then I guess that other side of them, that they don't have to hide their real true feelings anymore. Um, they are letting those all come out. So we're all out here in this society just trying to survive. And it's hard to try to remain calm. And this, you know what? This isn't the time for that. We have to address what the issues are. We have to address the racism. We have to address the different class actions, the suits. We have to do we have to address what democracy is. And folks, we can't keep on waiting. We have to stand up because it is going and it is going quickly. And one of the things that really got me wild up uh, earlier was when I had looked on the Nebraska Department of Human Health Services website. And when I looked at it a couple of days ago, when I posted their comment about or their statement about, what was going to happen the 29th, this was if you had any SNAP benefits that was on your card, those will be on the card. You can use them. But what benefits should have been applied, which would have came on Saturday, the first, those are not going to be applied. They say delayed. But they didn't say they were going to ever come on, just said that they were delayed. Well, when I looked on the website again, it was totally different. And it was so ironic because I had held back um, earlier from going on and coming out live, and Miss Precious McKesson, the one and only, sometimes called Miss P, um, happened to go online and see it, and I don't know which one of us probably hit the 10. But she came out and I was like, yes, ma'am, go right ahead, say what you got to say, because she's talking the truth. And so when I saw her posting on Facebook, it was like, I'm right here behind you, but I didn't see it when it was actually happening. I saw it afterwards, so I couldn't put my comment out there to give her the encouragement and support that, hey, you're right on target. You were right where I was going today. And you got there early, and I'm okay with that because the more people that bring it out, the maybe more people will get on and understand what we're trying to say and what needs to happen. This is not the time to hold back. This is the time for action. And so what happened was when she went to the website for the Nebraska Human uh, Health Services, it had changed from what it was earlier in the week. And hopefully I'm going to see if I can bring this up. Um, there we go. This is at the website right here. You could see it. You can go right to the website and you can see the same thing. Now, here was the wording is even a little different than it was um, from, I think it was Monday when I looked at it. It was either Monday, I think it was Monday. Anyway, it was first part. And I posted the information that was on their website. I posted it to Conversations with Cheryl Weston's website, our Facebook page. But today, this is what she saw. Due to a failure by Democrats in the United States Senate to pass a clean funding bill resulting in a government shutdown, SNAP benefits that many Nebraska families and kids depend on are now unavailable in November. Sadly, there is a wealth of misinformation coming from Senate Democrats. Lie, lie, lie. This shutdown was absolutely preventable. Yes, truth, truth, but not because of Democrats. And let me be very clear. I am independent. I am an independent thinker and voter. We urge members to approve a clean funding bill and stop using Nebraska's most vulnerable people for political leverage. This is by Governor Jim Pillen. And then for more information, it says, please go to Nebraska.gov SNAP program. And that's where, like I said, you'll see the same wording that I put out on my Facebook page. But here is what set her off. Not only that wording by Pillen, and it's the picture. And that is a stock picture. Helping people live better lives. Total fake lie, Governor Jim Pillen. What you get here is the picture that these stupid, uncaring folks are trying to put out. And what irritates me is that intelligent people, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, non-voter, or whatever, should get. But here is the picture. It's black folks. So what they're really saying, because, we're a visual society now. So what you're trying to promote and say is it's the Democrats who caused this lie, and it's the black folks that are taking advantage of it because black folks are the ones who take advantage of welfare. And the SNAP is a welfare benefit. Another lie. Lies. And I hate when people try to lie to my face. I may not have Einstein's IQ, but I don't have we won't even call his names. His low IQ to understand what this is supposed to mean. And I think that if you are the governor of a state, and let me also remind some folks, in case you didn't see it, there are some states who are going and to go forth with their SNAP program through other funding. But our governor, and the only reason why I say "are," because I'm not in vote for him, I'm not going to vote for him, is decided to go along with this because it's the cult, it's the party, it's the Trump, it's the MAGA, it's the 2025 plan. You can go in Project 2025 and you can see all of these things that are happening. They are happening just as designed. And what this is doing is trying to make you think about this SNAP program, keep you from thinking about the Epstein files, and to keep you from thinking about the Affordable Care Act, where people are going to lose much more than the SNAP program, because those people who have insurance, those people who have individuals on their insurance, children up to 26 and so forth, all of those programs, you're not going to have those unless you can afford, and many of them are going to have increases as much as $16,000 more. It's going to cost them to try to have insurance. And guess what? They're not going to be able to do it. That was the whole thing of having the Affordable Care Act. And guess what? Trump is saying the same thing that he said in his first term about the health plan. And guess what? 13 years later, there is no health care plan. The GOP has no health care plan. They don't even have the so-called concept anymore. Okay? That's how bad it is. But they don't want you to think about that because they're making you focus on this SNAP program that is. And yes, there are going to be many, many individuals who will lose and wonder where the food's going to come from. But it isn't. The majority is not the black and brown. It is not the Native American Indian. No, that's not the majority. And that's where I come in is your stupidity and your racism and your hatred for black and brown and indigenous and other people other than you feel are like yourself. And here's what else I want to tell you about being stupid and racist and hating someone because of their race. You see, what happens is you intelligent people, educated people, you know what's going on here. But I'm going to ask you, intelligent people, and you cult followers, you individuals who aren't quite educated as some of your others, is to think about this. And I want to pull this up. Hopefully I can. Let's see. Because I want to show you something that validates my point. Okay. Okay. Now I found it. Here is a chart. This is for Nebraska. Okay. This is the 2020 data. The population, white, 75.7%, Hispanic or Latino, 12.0%. Black and African American is 4.8%. Asians is 2.7%. And two or more races, 3.7%. American Indians, 1.2%. Now, hey, this is what it is off of this 2020 census. So I'm not making it up. You can go and get the same numbers. And here's what Omaha was listed as: 62.2% white, 12.2% black, 15.5% Hispanic, 4.6% Asian, and 1% Native American, and 4.4% multiracial. Now, there is a shift, they said, coming in according to the 2025 records, that shows the white population estimated at still six highs, 68.77%, blacks at 11.79%, Hispanics at 40.96%. And so my point here, let's go back up here, folks. Let's just take the 2020. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. If this is the population, who do you think is going to use the most SNAP benefits? Duh. Come on, Stupo. Come on, educated people. You know who you're hurting? When you voted and you follow behind Governor Jim Pillen, this is what happened. It's happening to you because you are the majority. You are the majority who is getting the benefit of any program. I don't care what it is. If it's a program that's help, you are going to get the benefit. So who folks is going to suffer? It ain't those folks you've seen in that they have blasted on their front page of the DHHS. That's not who it is. That's you are going to suffer. And you will find out just as you go to the grocery store, prices haven't come down, they're going up. And you know what's going to happen when those prices go up and it goes back and the government shutdown is over? Guess what? They're not bringing your prices down because they said if you can pay it then, you're going to pay it now. So even if Hispanics, 12%. Now, remember, these are state. And here's your Omaha numbers because it's the largest in the state of Nebraska. Omaha's the largest city. So that's who's going to suffer. Hey, it's your folks. But you know, you're so stuck on stupid, and you've gotten that President Lyndon B. Johnson's mentality, and it wasn't really his mentality. What he was doing when he made the quote is he was talking about the quote that he made was reflecting what the statistics showed and what politicians use to keep the racial divide, because what it did is it exploited working class poor or white and poor whites so that they wouldn't consolidate with poor black or brown or Native American. They wouldn't all come together and what? And be able to take and challenge the power structure. Because if we all came together, because we didn't have power, they don't have, then look at what we would gain if we came together. The numbers validated. So his quote was, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you picking his pockets. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. And you dumb but uninformed, uneducated, that's what you're getting. Everything's going to happen to you. That's why you're crying and you haven't yet begun to feel the pain. Because guess what? Black folks, brown folks, Native American, we've been living underneath it all this time. We do it every single day. So we know what's going to happen because we live in, we have to try to survive in it. And we will, because we're all strong people. But just think, if you poor, white, uneducated, uninformed, and you middle class white working folks would come together and understand this is hurting who it's going to hurt, look at what we could do. We could make that Congress, we could make the Senate come back. Because when we go and vote, we could make a difference. But no, you won't vote because it's the Dem, or you won't vote because it's your, then this is what you get. And you're going to get more, and you will soon find. So, yes, I am ticked off because I just think, you are biting your own. Like some people say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Well, guess what? I'm not going to let you make me go there. But just think, all you're doing is continually supporting the racism that you will never be part of the class. Poor, white, working, middle class, you will never, ever be part of it. Now, I want to show you something else that really ticked me off. And I don't know if Miss Precious has seen this or not, and probably I'll send it to her, but I want to see if I can bring it up. Hopefully we can. And if you hold on for a moment, I just want to make sure. Okay. So this was what I received from Bacon. Because I'm on the email list, not because I supported him. That's for damn sure. But anyway, here is this newsletter he came out. Again, this made my blood started to boil because it's another insult to my intelligence. Okay? Dear friend, all but three Senate Democrats voted for the 13th time not to reopen the government. No, that's not true. Well, let me back up. Three did go along with the Republicans because they so-called said they were looking at getting this clean bill passed in order to open up. Because it didn't outweigh the other, that the majority of the Democrats, and that's what pees me off with some of you damn Democrats, is you will not stick together. You will not stick together. Republicans, the GOP, whatever you want to call them, they don't care. They will stick together. They don't have backbone, or they won't go against the gentleman. No, he's not a gentleman. The individual that's in the White House, because the Republicans are all holding firm. Now, they finally got a couple of Republicans over in the House that are starting to see. And also, there, I will give credit to Paul Rand. He's not one of my favorite, and Massey, who are Republicans. They are seeing the light and they know this is a bunch of bull crap and it is a lie. Anyway, let me go on. So it says 42 million Americans are not on track to receive their SNAP benefits this Saturday, and nearly 2 million federal workers will not receive their paychecks. Nebraska has already stopped its benefits today, October 29th. This butthole here, who isn't even running against, because he's a coward, he's just had enough of having to try to get reelected every 2 years, which he didn't really have to try too hard. Um, but he's worried about these 2 million federal workers. Did he say to you, I'm going to get my paycheck? I'm going to have my health care. I'm going to have my retirement for life. Once they get in there to the office, those are things they get for life. And you keep voting for them or not voting. So when you don't vote, you're doing the same thing as voting for an individual. So those are all happening. He's leaving with this. We're already giving him a very substantial veterans retirement because he was in the service and the rank that he left at. And now he's going to get for being in the House of Representatives. And he'll go on to some board and get a nice little fat chunk there, $300,000 or $400,000 probably, or at least $100,000 for just sitting in an annual meeting or a meeting that's every 3 or 4 months. But he's trying to make this seem like, oh, I'm here concerned. And do you know what? He will talk a bunch of bull crap. And then when it comes down to the vote, where does he vote? Because they will stick together, right or wrong. Anyway, let me go on. House Republicans and one Democrat fought to avoid this pain, passing a clean bill over a month ago. It wasn't a clean bill because it didn't tell you what it was going to really happen. All they're trying to do is to get passed because guess what? This is done in order to pay for that big, beautiful bill that your party voted for and made you think that you were getting something. Even America's largest federal worker unions, representing 820,000 employees, backed our bipartisan clean. How can you have a bipartisan when you only have one Democrat to go against? That's the reason why I said I hate when people try to insult my intelligence. But when you have uninformed, uneducated, stupid, racist, you allow that to get in. This is what happens to you. They put this stuff before you. And according to 2025 project, the project 2025, whichever way you want to say it, this is the way. What they say is say it over and over and over and over again, and the people will go for it. And then if you listen to what President Johnson said at that time, convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man. And he won't even notice you're picking his pockets, his own pockets. This week, I'm meeting with nonprofits, food pantries, utility, financial institutions, and others to learn how the shutdown is affecting their operation and what they can do to assist those in need. Okay, I want to make sure that you understand, because you don't know, there is several billions that has been put in a contingency fund. So when cover this, because of what happened in the shutdown before, there is billions, not millions, billions of dollars that could be accessed. But they don't want to do that because they want the Democrats to cave, because then they will get the comeback. They will put this through and it won't be no clean deal. It will be enough so that at the end of the year, your health benefits will cease as they currently exist. The Affordable Health Care, they named it, when I say they, the GOP named it the Obamacare, but it's called the Affordable Health Care Bill, and those stop December 31st, 2025. And you're going to go backwards. You're going to go back to paying some premiums that you won't be able to, therefore you won't have insurance benefits. And then you will go back to what the billionaires, the insurance companies are going to charge you. And then he says he's meeting with not, that's a bunch of BS. He ain't mean, why do you have to meet with him? Doesn't common sense up here tell you how it's affecting the operations? Dang, can you be so stupid? Or is it because you have hatred so much? As Miss P said, are you such a devil? Anyway, plus, I'm hosting a teletown hall next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to provide an update on the shutdown and answer your questions. To participate, constituents can call, and there's the number. In addition to calling in, constituents can pre-register and join via the website, and there's your number. Residents of the second district of Nebraska are welcome to participate. He ain't coming in person. And he could, because it ain't no skin off his back. And here's some stats he wanted to put out to you. Air traffic control. There were 22 staffers triggers on Sunday, indicating personnel shortages at air traffic control towers and facilities. 7,000 flights were delayed on Monday. Do you know what will get this shutdown stopped? Folks, it's right here. When those traffic control towers, individuals start calling in, and when this number here, 7,000 flights delay, and it becomes 22,000, that's when we're going back. Shutdown will be over, because that's what's changed it last time. This here Saturday, with these 42 million Americans who will not receive their SNAP benefit, and that's a lie, because there are, I believe it's 16 states. Actually, it was 29, but there's 16 that's going forth. Will have already got things in line, so people on their benefits will be able to receive. Contingency funds, he says, are not legally available to cover regular benefits. We ain't talking about regular benefits. That billions of dollars that is set aside was for this whole purpose, folks. The whole purpose. That's what it's for. Transfers from other sources would divert funding from school meals and infant formula. Lies, lies, lies. States willing to cover the cost will not be reimbursed because they are fully federally funded. And that's what I'm trying to get to you. Yes, those states are willing to cover the cost of the benefits regardless of federal reimbursement, but not Nebraska. No, 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 not Nebraska. Red state, you can call it red state, green state, two state, whatever, but it's Nebraska. They don't want to do it. But who's going to? 70%, or the largest percent who will suffer in the state of Nebraska will be, you got that right, white folks. Poor, middle class, or working class, working poor people, you're going to suffer. Because like I say, Black, brown, and Native America, they've been suffering. But we got to find ways, and we will find ways to come together in order to get that. And we will survive. He went on to say that nearly 2 million Americans will miss paycheck. They are telling you going to miss October 15th. People in the service defending this country did not get a paycheck. Traffic controllers did not get a paycheck. Each day, roughly 320 small businesses lose access to 170 million in SBA guaranteed funding. Lies. National security impact. What do they care about national security impact? When we got someone in the White House who's selling every damn thing we got, security, computer knowledge, and the enablers that sit in the House of Congress, the Senate, they are going along with it, and they're going to find out it will get to you too, buddy. 400,000 here, he said, who perform critical national security activities, they're coming to work without pay. But you're not. They're coming to work to protect your behind. 80% of the National Nuclear Security Administration is furlonged. Well, you furlonged how many, what percentage underneath the Musk, Doge? The military cannot enter into new contracts or renew existing contracts needlessly to delay the acquisition of critical capabilities for our war fighters. Well, if you weren't going around shooting boats and innocent people up in Venezuela in the waters, maybe we wouldn't have such need for war fighters. Ongoing intelligence that informs weapons development, predicts political conditions. Do you support, and this really kicked, when at the end of this is his survey, do you support immediately reopening the government to pay federal workers, including our service members, air traffic control? But hey, this is how I get, like, you're supporting these workers. What about you? Not one congressman, senator has said, I give up my paycheck for my constituents in my state. Not a one. Not a one. So this is what I'm saying. People, take your head out of your butt and see how this is hurting and who it is hurting, because it's hurting you. And I just think, this is so ridiculous. And I know Miss P, she was highly upset. I am too. But people, you better get on and wake up, smell the coffee. Because, well, let me say, if you can still afford to go buy the coffee, smell the coffee. Because you ain't going to be able to go and make that Starbucks, that Scooters, that, what's the other one? There's another coffee shop out there and all the other. You won't be able to keep on. When you go to that grocery store, and when he talks about gasoline's no, it ain't. It went up. When you go to get your bacon, which is increased by 5%, and you farmers, and do you know who this is going to hurt? Is the rural workers. But yet and still you want to continuously vote for these individuals who are hurting you, which is all stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. And so I just want to end this, is to think about this. When you have these conversations with, and I want to put this back up, if I can get it to come back up while I close. When you allow individuals who have nothing but greed, power, and control in, when you allow the ideal behind Johnson's quote, which clearly shows, historical evidence shows how the racism is used to prevent class unity between poor whites, poor blacks, and working class, middle class people. And there ain't going to be too long, it's not going to be much longer before there won't be any middle class. When you continually support and align your thinking with them, rather than uniting with people, regardless of their color, if it's going to help you. But when you continually allow these racist folks who have an education, but their hatred against other people, the red man, the black man, the brown man, the multicultural culture person, because they want to keep power and control. They are hurting you. It's not hurting any of those individuals that they're trying to keep you and fighting against, because those red man, the white, the black man, the poor white man, the brown man, they don't have the power or the control, the money. So I'm just saying, when you converse with stupid people and you get to following stupid people with their stupid ways, you're only hurting yourself, whether you're educated or not. Just use some good common sense and think it out. And when you look at that, and I know there's some of you folks, and I want to see if I can bring that picture back up. Let me see. I'm going to try really hard here. When you keep on having this picture put up and believe the bull crap that is being said here to you, due to a failure by the Democrats in the United States Senate to pass a clean funding bill, SNAP benefits, don't let that blind you, because it's not the SNAP benefits. They want you to focus on that. But remember, it's everything that's going to stop, other than what hasn't already stopped, December 31st. And are you going to be able to have a health care plan? Because they have no health care plan for you. It's not going to happen. But guess what? These pictures should all be white, because that's who's going to suffer the most. And if you're white, you're going to suffer. If you're middle class, you're probably going to suffer, because you ain't going to get these. You're going to be going to those pantries and food banks, because you're going to pay for this. But if you want to believe this, and then you want to go and you want to continually put individuals back into office as Governor Jim Pillen, and if you black folks who want to keep on smiling so that this man here and people like him can pat you on your head and invite you to a lunch and smile with them, hey, you're going to get what you're going to get. Because you, guess what? You are never, ever going to be accepted. You will always continue to be used. You are never, ever going to be any more than exactly what you are. Look in the mirror. That's what you are, and that's what you will be changed. So if you think that's going to change, it ain't. But if you want to go ahead and smile and grin, and then behind your back, they call you, you know what, the N word, because that's what you are to them. You keep on kissing and smiling and carrying on. You keep on voting them in and see what you get, the crumbs, if you get any. And so I'm through with my rant, right? But I am just sick and tired. They did the same thing when we were fighting for the lead. They used black and brown pictures of black and brown children, but it wasn't the black and brown children in the majority. And it will never be, because we are never in the majority of the race that rules the America that we live in. So thank you for listening. And if I stepped on some toes, so be it, because sometimes the truth hurts, and it makes you, your shoes get a little tight. Because that's what, when your feet hurt, that's because telling you the truth. Them shoes is too tight. Anyway, have a great evening. I always enjoy coming to you. Please continue to watch. Check out the Facebook page. Check out our website. Check out our YouTube. Conversations for Cheryl Weston. We are here to try to inform you so you won't be stupid people. Have a wonderful evening.